Let's start with what is a farmer in 2023, right? So a farmer in 2023, we're talking about someone that still needs a lot of knowledge about traditional farming, but also has to deal with a lot of new technology that's being implemented right now. So when we're talking about new technology, we've seen in the past 5 years growing implementations of a lot of technology, not just artificial intelligence, as we see mostly in the past few years, but even in general, the use of Internet of Things, use of precision agriculture. So precision agriculture is actually the use of Internet of Things. We see a lot of implementation of smart machineries, and even those that are not yet smart machines, they do implement a lot of technology and a lot of data collection that at the end, if we don't understand how to analyze this data, we actually can't really compete in the national arena, and we can't even compete when we're talking about the way that we're doing farming these days. We also have the problems of not having a lot of not having enough employees, and that employment gap that created a lot of need to make things a lot more streamlined and create more efficiencies, and also the decision making to be able to make better decision making using those technologies. I'll give you an example. So when we're talking about farming, if you'd say 20 years ago, a farmer, when they would use a sprayer, it still was more technology than it was 50 years ago, but a sprayer was a sprayer. You would go and you spray your crops. You would have to use a lot of your so-called intuition, which is actually accumulated knowledge that we have, right? So if someone has many years of experience, they know when to spray, what to spray, how to use, how to fertilize, which area needs to be fertilized better. But when you're starting into implementing those new advancements, new machines, new technologies, it gives you the capability to make better decisions. So a sprayer right now is using a lot of machine learning, using a lot of AI, machine vision, that allows the sprayer to identify automatically patches that needs to be sprayed, the quantity that needs to be sprayed, and also where we can save. So it saves it saves a lot on the material that we're using. It also saves the environment because it helps us to be a lot more sustainable. It creates less runoff from agriculture. And this is how we see how it all comes together, right? So when we're talking about environment sustainability and the wave that we've seen in the past, I would say 20 years, to make agriculture more sustainable, more environmental sustainable, and the use of technology, they're all supporting each other. So if before that, farmer did not need to understand how to use those advanced machineries, and also how to analyze the data. So those machines collect a lot of data, and at the end, you have a default setting in how to analyze it, but you can get a lot more from those machines if you understand the different nuances of data analysis. So that's another skill set that farmers these days need to understand. So it's the implementation of new technology, it's data analysis, understanding what AI actually is being used for and how they can leverage that in order to be more sustainable and to compete better. 15, 20 years ago, a tractor was still just a tractor. Now we have those self-drive automated tractors, for example, from John Deere, and we have other technology that's being implemented, and all the implementation of precision agriculture really changed the way we perceive things. So if before that, for example, the use of weather stations was separately for farmers to kind of analyze how they reduce analysis of the weather station to understand how they're gonna plant their crops, what they're gonna do this year, and do all this planning. This time, right now, we're using weather station not just for that, we're using it for everyday work in the field. So those combines or tractors are connected together with the weather station analysis that we have, and with other drone analysis, it's connected together with all with a lot of imaging that we can collect, and those together create an opportunity to make better decisions in the way that we are actually doing the production of agriculture. And also in the processing world, we see a lot of automation implemented. So in processing, we see a lot more robotics, for example, that before that was very hard to implement. The implementation stage is just being a little bit easier, but the technology, with implementing new technology, there are coming new challenges, right? So that's the difference. The difference is now that we really need to have, a farmer needs to have this understanding, not just buying a new advanced machine and hoping that it would work for the best, but really understanding how to work with this technology in a better way. So working better with data. It comes to data and working better with understanding analytics of data. Yeah, so the Internet of Things is very interesting. So we can see that, of course, across many other industries, but in agriculture, the rapid implementation that's happened in the past 5 years have enabled us to really minimize a lot of the hours that we would use before in order to do kind of general analysis, just so, okay, I'll take it one step back. Okay, so before that, in order to run a proper farm, you would need many years of experience and a lot of knowledge. And when you're seeing how most of the farmers that we have right now, especially in the prairies, the age of the farmer is getting older and older, and most of this knowledge is starting to disappear. And when you want to take someone that's relatively new to that role, even if they have a lot of formal education, but they don't have hands-on experience, you have this major gap of, for example, when we talked about the spraying, okay, so without those machineries, if you would have to decide where to spray, how to spray, where to fertilize, how much in order to increase productions, in order to do the optimizations that require, in order to do optimization of labor, you will have a lot of struggles. You will have to have a lot of, you will even probably have loss of revenue during those years when you're switching from one generation to another. But with the implementation of Internet of Things, with the capabilities of really tying together different functions of the farms, when we're talking between the production itself and the financial analysis that's coming together with that, and all the other analysis that is the labor analysis, for example, what we need, when we need, the use of energy, all those things together, when they tie together, it really mimicates the brain of someone that has many, many years of hands-on experience. So not just the knowledge, academic knowledge, right? But really hands-on experience. So the Internet of Things, what it does, it actually ties everything together, creates better analysis, integral analysis, and this way it allows us to compete better, to increase productivity, and really to transfer this knowledge seamlessly. The first thing that farmers want to know usually is there is a lot of buzz right now about AI. So what is AI? How can we even use that? So they have, for example, for seeds, they have seeds color sorter that sorted automatically the seeds, and it says AI on it. But except for that, like when they hear, okay, can I implement AI? What does it mean? Is it related to ChatGPT? What in general? So this is recently has been one of the first requests that we have from farmers, like, can you direct me to this material? Can you train this? Can you match me with someone that has this kind of knowledge? So it's the implementation of AI into farming. We also see a lot of requests when it comes to understanding how do we take this technology that we already bought and implemented and like paid millions of dollars for, in order to install the processing facility. There is a lot of movement right now for farmers in the prairies to move to also be, so not just the productions of the whatever it is that they're producing, right? But of commodity, but also the processing in order to get to the next step, right? And when they're setting up those processing facilities, they know that they're implementing innovative technology, and they want to know more. What can they do with that? How can we leverage that to become more productive? How can we leverage that in order to have better products later on? How can we leverage that saving on labor? How can we leverage that in order to make better decisions on fertilizers, on making better decisions on spraying, making better decision even on how to plant, what to plant this year. So all those analysis really helps to evaluate it day by day, but also for the long run. This is something that we see that is growing every year, the needs of precision agriculture specialists. We also see a lot more demand of people that have this so data analytics knowledge and also programming that are being asked to really get into this industry, into the agriculture industry, that before that it was almost a major gap between high tech and agriculture, at least it was perceived. So agriculture was always being implemented technology, but the perception was that it's not quite there. It's kind of like a little bit old-fashioned way, whereas it was just a well-kept secret, especially in the prairies when we're seeing that. So right now, with the wave, we see that there is a lot of need for precision agriculture experts, not just to come and implement those precision agriculture systems in order for farmers to work with them, but also to make constant data analysis, adaptation, to really to develop a bit further the technology that right now exists, to support even things that like irrigation. This is something that has been growing. So irrigation technologies and water treatment, it's a growing demand that we see from agriculture. We also see growing demand in other areas, like moving into vertical agriculture, moving into it. It all depends on which province you're talking about, right? But we do see this movement. I would say a person that is constantly learning. That person, I guess, would be successful in all worlds, not just specifically agriculture. We're constantly developing, right? Human beings are constantly developing. We're constantly adapting new technologies and new ways of doing things, better ways of doing things, more sustainable. So a person that constantly is open to learn and to adapt will be the first step. The second step would be when you are making those decisions to improve your farm, when you are making those decisions to implement new technology, it's important to understand not just the traditional agriculture knowledge, right, the domain expertise of agriculture, but also to understand just a little bit about each and every of those machineries, what they're doing, how to operate them better, how to collect this data, how can we utilize this data better, a little bit about data analytics. So there is a whole science behind data analytics, and also understanding machine learning, which is the building blocks of artificial intelligence. If you understand what machine learning is, and just in general, what each and every general machine learning algorithm is doing, then you can really make better choices when you're using certain method of analysis or another one, or when you're tying together even different technology that uses different software. And when you're tying them together, when you decide, okay, I'm going to buy this from that part, the other one from that part, you need that knowledge to put it together. A lot of time it's really, if you don't have that knowledge in-house, I do think that someone should hire an expert. And we do have in our program, that's what we do. We prepare people to be an expert in this technology implementation. And also we have a stream of data analytics. We have a stream that specifically for agribusiness. So it doesn't matter what you do if you're more specialized in the part of the finance, if you specialize more in the part of the production or the processing, whatever part of agriculture you're specialized in. The moment that you understand how to use the technology that's right now is already being implemented, how to use it better, you already have an advantage, right? A competitive advantage, not just in compared to others, but even in compared to how you were a year ago. Our program specifically is not just for farmers to upskill. So what we do in our program specifically is we identify talents that are unemployed or underemployed. Some of them are from the agriculture sector, but many of them are not. Actually, they're coming from different sectors. And what we do is we teach them about domain expertise of agriculture, because this is the basic. Without that, the technology implementation cannot happen. And we teach them the basics also of digitization and automation in agriculture. And then we match them with potential employers. And those employers are actually the people that are lacking those skill sets and looking, in order to grow, they already purchased those machineries. They already started implementing precision AI. They already hired the services of precision AI company that are coming to set it up for them. And what they need is someone that would do more than implementation, that will take it to the next level, that would work with them to make the best use of the technology that were already implemented. So that's our program. For farmers, I do know that Protein Industry Canada, for example, have a lot of education that they provide to farmers. There are really good courses online as well that they can approach, and they can look into to understand specifically how to implement technology, or in general the technology that's being used right now in different stages of farming. It can never really move to a pure digital world because it is very hands-on. It's very hands-on thing to be a farmer, right? So agriculture in general. Nowadays, at least, and I don't think it would happen anytime in the next 40 years, that will be completely hands-off and it will all be automated. There is still a lot of value with having human really running that, and there is still a lot of knowledge that needs to be transferred. And in general, I do firmly believe that our connection to the land, that's what keeps us working in agriculture. I can tell you that, I recently got married into a family of farmers, and I can see that the reason that they're doing that, they keep on being farmers, and they're fifth generation of farmers now. The only reason that they keep on doing that is the connection to the land, and I don't see that as something that will become completely digitized. They are open to implement new technology, and they are doing that at this moment. But they would never give up that part of really be a part of touching the land, of processing the land, or working with the land, or working with the animals. At the end, it is a part of what we need as human beings. It's that connection to nature, it's that connection to the land, it's that connection to our livestock. All this makes us, and especially with farmers, that makes the difference. That's why farmers keep on farming. Everyone can always get up and do something else the next day, but they choose not to. And most of them, it's because of that connection. Now, I would just say that I know that a lot of people are afraid from the word AI. AI sounds like scary, like something from, I don't know, fictional movie, something going to take over. But it's actually a great tool that can help you make better decisions. So for the people that are listening to that, I want you to consider, just go and quickly even open YouTube on something that explain about machine learning, not even AI. Just listen generally, what is machine learning? Where can it help us? So machine learning, usually an AI, the best implementation is in places when we have a lot of knowledge that comes from people that have hands-on experience for many years. And when you cannot transfer this knowledge properly, when you have this gap, that's when machine learning can help you most. So I do urge people to just go and look a little bit deeper into that and think about, if I would have been an expert, I could have done it better. If you have this sentence in your head, if I would have been an expert, could I have done it better? And the answer is yes, then this is where machine learning is best implemented. This is where AI is best implemented. And I know that there are right now a lot of government support, a lot of federal government support in order to implement better AI into agriculture.